And welcome back to the channel and a continued playthrough of Electrician Simulator. Rather than episodes, what I've done is I've sectioned these off into different tutorials. So we have certificates 1 and 2 and also an introduction to the workbench mechanics. This is a game that does have a fairly decent tutorial, but there's a couple of things that I didn't really see at first, which were kind of prompts on the loading screens and led to some frustration and potentially not then carrying on playing the game, which is why we're literally picking this up in what is now March 26th, when it released in, I think, September 2023. So I didn't pick this up on release. I did pick it up whilst I was looking at different simulator games that we could play, but I literally didn't really get much further past the first job because it looked to be overcomplicated for what I wanted at the time. I would say a little bit of patience, and hopefully those top tips that I've passed on will mean that you don't have to repeat the pain that I experienced of 48 minutes working out how to connect the wiring. Anyway, back on to the game, and we're going to pick up a new job. And we need to pick these jobs up in the meantime until we've got enough experience to take our next certificate. So I'll make this a video just about taking on a job that we've not done before. So we've already done a workbench job, and this is now fixing a console. The sensor in the bathroom I did on a previous playthrough, so I won't pick that up here. I didn't record that one, I should say. That was a playthrough off camera, just to get familiar with the mechanics. The bathroom light, there's a different problem in the light in the bathroom there, having done that previously also. So let's take this one. Oh, the socket's okay. What we've noticed on the screen here is that the Electrify shop will have periodic sales. Top tip there, you only really want to be interested in consumable items. So a screwdriver isn't going to experience wear and tear. So even though it's down from $50 to $15, we already have a screwdriver. That's one of the basic things that we need for our jobs. If there's the rust removal spray, and I think one of the smaller screwdrivers for the workbench, then they do deteriorate over time, so worth picking up if you see them on a sale. Let's accept the job and let's get on our way. Okay, so in this instance, I just realised, let's skip past that. There weren't any suggested items that we needed for this job. We just need a screwdriver. I should have said that actually beforehand, is that before you head out, when you take the job, there will also be a little helpful suggested items tab there, and that means that you can just pick the items that you need and add them to the cart rather than having to go through the shop separately. You can click on buy all. That's a really nice, efficient way to make sure that you're leaving with everything that you need for the job. And I'm going to head off in our trusty vehicle here. Yes. There is also a helpful heads up display that says whether you're leaving the job without everything that you need. Okay, so as always, we have up in the top left there our little checklist of what we need to do. So we need to check the socket next to the TV stand. We need to connect the wires in the electrical box, check if the outlet works, check the double outlet in the bedroom, connect the wires in the electrical box, and check if the outlet works. So a couple of different bits. So we're just layering up on what we've already learned. So as always, let's find that fuse box. Make sure we're not going to electrocute ourselves. Should hopefully be near the front door here. Yes, it is. We don't need to turn off. We can turn off the individual circuits there, but I'm not sure we need to. What I'm just going to show you, which hopefully picks up, is that The square button gives us access to our additional radial wheel, and if we click on the cable detector, then what you'll see on the screen is it shows the wiring loom and the electrical current, so that we can see where everything is connected. I'm sure that's going to come into play further on in the playthrough, but certainly in my experience in the first bits that I've played, then the key thing there is going to be the enable cable laying system, and that gives us a little heads up display on each of the sockets to show where the points of contact are, so that we can wire that up properly. Anyway, back to this. We'll turn the electric off, and the first thing that we're being prompted to do is check the socket next to the TV stand, which is here. Just whilst it's in my mind as well, you probably can see that some of these are green, and you can open some drawers. Now that is on some of the jobs. You'll be prompted to find a part that you need. So on that second bathroom job, if you take that up first, that we saw on the laptop, then you'll be prompted to find a UV bulb. Top tip there is that that's not available in the shop. You do need to find it in a drawer of the apartment. So if you're moving through the different environments and you see that they're in green, that means that you can interact, and there might be a spare bulb that's useful. Back to this job. So as always, we need to see what's going on behind here. Use our trusty screwdriver to get in there. Moving around with our right directional stick, and we got the socket isn't actually wired at all at the moment. We should have 3 screws. I think could be wrong. So X to get there. So we've got the live one there. We know that's good because the little connection at the bottom is grey. We've then got neutral. We put that in the wrong one. You saw that turned red. So we want the, I think we call it earth. The earth wire, and then neutral there. We can wire this up. We get that nice little noise that tells us that we've done it correctly, and we also get the task turn yellow. Put that back together. We can zoom out to be able to see the screws and stuff that we need to put back in order. So that's one socket done. So we need to check that it works. So let's plug in the lamp. Of course, at the moment there's no electricity going to it. Turn on the breaker. And the lamp's working. Okay, so we're good there. We're going to need to go into the bedroom next. So again, electricity off. So as you would expect with a simulator, of course, are elements of repetition, but I think this is quite a kind of nicely paced game with there's the sockets. This is the bedroom. Yeah, with a nice bit of variety actually. So if you just want to spend a bit of time just ambling through jobs. Why won't that let me do that? Well, for some reason it's not letting me. I've not experienced that before. Maybe it's because I didn't have the screwdriver on. No, it won't let me. It won't let me take the socket apart. That's unusual. This is the right bedroom. I'll just check that I... Oh, that's closed. That's outside. That's the front door. So check the socket next to the TV stand. Connect the wires in the electrical box. Check if the outlet works. Now they've turned grey again because we turned the power off. Ah, sorry, that's me. So it says connect the double socket in the bedroom. That's a single outlet. So we need to find a double outlet. There we go. So the lamp's plugged in at the moment. I thought we'd experienced our first bug then in the game, but the first thing we do is remove the plug. And we can press down on the directional pad to remove it. And there we go. So interesting there that it doesn't actually let you remove the socket if it's not the right one. That's good to know. Passing on top tips in real time. Highlight our screwdriver. Take off the faceplate as always. And we don't have anything wired again here. So unscrew these. Electricity live, should I say. First. Protective or earth, as we call it in the UK, or I did anyway. And then our neutral last. Job's a good one. That nice little rewarding noise. Put this back together. Whoops. Zoom out. So yeah, it's one of those things. Once you get the game set up the way you'd like it. So if then the controller sensitivity is a bit too much and you find it difficult to highlight the different items, that can be frustrating. So you can change that in the settings. And actually moving around even the jobs can sometimes feel a little bit frustrating. What it did to me at the start. Okay, so we should have fixed both the sockets. We just need to check that they're working by turning the electricity back on. Okay, so there we need to check the double outlet. So in order to do that, I guess we need to turn the lamp on. And there we have it. So similar to what we've seen before, it's just that there were more to repair this time. But we got some good XP points, which we're going to need to be able to progress to take our next certificate. And to get some dollars as well. So we'll get our summary of what we were paid for there. Let's just see if we have the certificate level 3 available to us. No, not just yet. So there we have it, another job done. We're starting to build up some dollars. We can take either jobs in different environments, which at the moment are going to be related to sockets. We've not yet progressed on to wiring. Once we've got some more XP, then we'll get the opportunity to take our level 3 certificate around wiring. That for me was the sticking point, as I probably mentioned in each of the videos. I've probably mentioned 48 minutes quite a lot, which, yeah, at the time it almost turned me to turning the game off. I did look at some YouTube videos where, again, on screen you could visually see what they're doing, but for the life of me I couldn't work out how you got to that menu. So just to recap, excuse me, that is the square button. So I would say, as well as taking a look at the tutorials, the load screens are almost instant. There is a prompt to press the button, press any button. Those are very useful. So again, square brings up a second radial wheel, which is going to be critical for the cabling. Triangle brings up your inventory, where you're going to need to move items that you've bought and are in your inventory into one of the to hand slots. You can only have 3 items to hand at any one point. And again, I kind of got a bit stuck thinking, well, I've removed the bulb, how do I put the other one in? And it's because it was sat in my inventory. As always, I do hope that these videos are helpful. I very much use similar videos myself, so that when I'm stuck in a game, rather than giving up on it, a little bit of a nudge every now and again can help you get back on track. It's not really cheating. Excuse me. It's just a point of reference. It's not like the old days where you could put cheats in to have infinite lives and whatnot. So I do hope they have been useful, and as I say, a summary of the game itself. I think it's a nice little balance between going off and doing those jobs, which I'm sure are going to increase in complexity. You then have your mini workbench here. So I've seen YouTube channels actually where people do this in real time. So people will send them kind of potentially defective products, and they'll test them, clean up the boards and whatnot. You can kind of do that to an extent in this game, so you're almost getting 2 for 1. I will pick up the next video once we get on certificate level 3, rather than working through each and every job, because I'm sure you get the gist of what they're all about at the moment. And I hope that by sectioning the videos off, it means that you can access what you need much easier than having to skip through an entire video. Please do let me know in the comments any suggestions. Also pop them in there. I do read them all, and thank you for watching.